My mother's love. My name is Tom, and this is the true story of my life. Last night I sat alone in my room, staring at an old photo on the wall. It was a picture of my mother and me. I was a small boy in the picture. My mother had a big smile. I looked happy, too. I closed my eyes and thought about her. Many memories came to my mind. Some were good, some were not good. I felt warm in my heart, but also a little sad. When I was a child, my mother did everything for me. She cooked my food. She washed my clothes. She helped me with my homework. She walked me to school. She stayed with me when I was sick. She worked hard every day, but I did not see her love. I did not say thank you enough. I thought she would always be there. I thought her job was to take care of me. I was wrong. One day I came home late. My mother waited for me. She looked worried. She asked, "Where were you?" I said, "With my friends." She said, "You should tell me next time." I got angry. I said, "Stop asking me questions. I'm not a baby." I saw her face change. She looked hurt, but she didn't shout. She only said, "Okay." That night, she still made me dinner. She still kissed me goodnight. Her love did not change. I remember the time I failed a big test. I was afraid to go home. I thought my mother would be angry. But she did not shout. She sat with me. She said, "It's okay. Try again next time." She smiled and gave me a hug. Her hugs were warm. They made me feel safe. I didn't say it then, but now I want to say it. She made me strong. She made me feel loved. Sometimes I said bad things to her. I said she didn't understand me. I said she didn't care, but that was not true. She always cared. She stayed up late when I had problems. She listened when I needed to talk. She cried when I was sad. She laughed when I was happy. Her heart was always full of love, but I was too young to see it. There was a time I wanted to leave home. I wanted to live alone. I thought I didn't need anyone. I packed my bag. I opened the door. My mother stood there. She didn't stop me. She said, "If you go, take a jacket. It might be cold." That small sentence broke my heart. I saw her eyes. They were full of love. But she let me go. She trusted me, and that trust brought me back home. I think of the day she was sick. She had a fever and was very tired, but she still got up. She made breakfast for me. I told her to rest. She said, "Mothers don't rest." I didn't understand her words, but now I do. A mother's heart is always working, even when her body is tired, even when she is in pain. Her love is stronger than anything. Now that I'm older, I see everything. I see how strong she was. I see how kind she was. I see how much she gave me. I want to go back and say sorry. I want to go back and say thank you, but I cannot go back in time. So now I try to be better. I try to love her the way she loved me. I try to speak kind words. I try to help her more. I know I made mistakes. I know I hurt her feelings sometimes, but she never stopped loving me. She never turned away from me. Her heart was big. Her hands were always open. Her smile was always for me. And now when I look at that old photo, I feel her love. I feel her in every memory, and I say to myself, I am lucky. I have a mother like her. Every day I try to be more like her. I try to be strong. I try to be kind. I try to love without asking for anything back, because that is what she taught me. Not with words, but with actions, with small things, with quiet care, with big love. One morning, I woke up late. I missed the school bus. I was afraid to tell my mother, but when I came to the kitchen, she was smiling. She said, "It's okay, I'll take you." I thought she would be angry, but she wasn't. She drove me to school in her old car. On the way, she told me a funny story. I laughed, and she laughed too. That small moment stayed in my heart for years. There was a time when I broke a glass in the kitchen. I was 9 years old. I thought she would be mad. I tried to hide it, but she saw the broken glass. She asked me, "Did you break this?" I said no. She looked at me and said nothing. Later, I felt bad and told her the truth. She smiled and said, "Thank you for telling me." She didn't punish me. She taught me honesty with love. In high school, I wanted to be cool. I didn't want to be seen with my mother. One day, she came to school to bring my lunch. I saw her from far away and walked the other way. I didn't want my friends to see me with her. That night, she said nothing. She just asked, "Did you eat today?" I said yes. She smiled and went to bed. I still remember that. Her love was quiet, but it was deep. I remember when I got my first job. I was so proud. I bought her a small gift with my first money. She looked at it and smiled. She said, "You didn't need to buy anything," but I saw tears in her eyes. She hugged me for a long time. That hug felt different. It was full of pride and love. I felt like I finally gave something back to her. That moment meant a lot to both of us. Sometimes, she sat alone in the living room. She looked at old photos or drank tea in silence. I never asked what she was thinking. I was busy with my own life. But now I wonder, did she miss her family? Did she feel lonely? She always smiled, but maybe she was tired. Maybe she needed someone to ask her, "Are you okay?" I wish I had asked more. I wish I had listened more. Now, when I visit her, I see her hair turning gray. Her hands are slower, but her heart is the same. She still waits for me at the door. She still cooks my favorite food. She still asks, "Did you sleep well?" I try to be better now. I try to show love like she did. I sit with her. I listen to her stories. I hold her hand. Because now I understand a mother's love is forever. And I want to give it back while I still can. I remember my school days very well. I often needed help with my homework after dinner. My mother sat beside me every evening, even when she was tired. Sometimes she didn't know the answers to my questions, but she never gave up and always tried to help. She asked friends or searched in old books. She wanted me to learn and grow with confidence. One time, I really wanted a new toy I saw in a shop. It was colorful and made music when it moved. My mother said we didn't have money that month. I got angry and didn't talk to her for days. A few nights later, she gave me the toy. I was happy, but I didn't know how hard she worked for it. There was a day I came home from school after a fight. My shirt was dirty and I had a bruise on my arm. I thought she would be angry and shout at me, but she held my hand and asked, "Are you okay, my son?" She listened to me and gave kind advice. She said, "Be strong, but never hurt others." Every evening she made dinner and waited for me at the table. Sometimes I was late, but she never ate before I came home. She said, "I want us to eat together as a family." I didn't understand her reason then, because I was just a child. But now I know it was her quiet way to love. She never bought new clothes for herself, even in winter. Her shoes were old, and her coat had small tears. But I always had warm jackets and clean shoes for school. I asked her once why she didn't buy something for herself. She smiled and said, "Because you need it more than I do." She loved her small garden with flowers and green plants. Every morning she watered them and checked each one. She smiled when they grew tall and healthy. I never helped her because I thought flowers were boring. Now I grow flowers too, and I think of her hands in the soil. When I was sick, she stayed beside me all night without sleeping. She touched my head, gave me soup, and spoke softly. I never saw her tired face or the worry in her eyes. She just said, "You will feel better soon, don't worry." I didn't understand her pain then, but now I do. Sometimes she sang while cleaning the house or cooking. Her voice was soft and her songs were slow and sweet. She sang songs from her childhood that I didn't know. I didn't care much then and didn't listen well, but now I remember the sound of her voice. It was warm, gentle, and full of peace. When I think of mornings at home, I see her in the kitchen. She woke up before everyone else to make breakfast. The smell of bread and tea filled the house. She moved quietly so we could sleep more. I never said thank you for those mornings. I just ate and left for school. But now I miss those quiet, warm mornings with her love in every meal. I remember rainy days when I forgot my umbrella. She waited at the school gate with one in her hand. Her clothes were wet, but she smiled at me. I used to feel embarrassed in front of friends. I never said how much it meant to me. She never asked for thanks. Her love was always there, even in the rain. At night I often watched TV while she worked. She washed dishes, folded clothes, cleaned the floor. I never offered to help. I thought it was her job, but now I feel ashamed. She never rested, but she never complained. Her hands did everything for the house. Her love was in every small action she did. One day I had a bad grade in math. I was scared to show her, but she looked at the paper and said, "It's okay, we will try again." She didn't get angry. She sat with me every night after that. She made me believe I could improve. That patience helped me more than any teacher. She never went on holidays or bought things for fun. When I asked her why, she said, "Maybe next year," but next year never came for her. She always gave her time and money to us. I didn't understand it then, but now I know. She gave up many dreams for our future. There was a winter when I got a fever for days. She stayed by my side all night, holding my hand. She didn't sleep. She didn't eat much. I remember opening my eyes and seeing her next to me. Her face looked tired, but she smiled. I felt safe with her beside me. That smile gave me strength. On my birthday, she always made a cake by hand. It wasn't big, but it was made with love. She decorated it with simple things from the kitchen. I didn't care back then. I wanted toys, not cake. But now I remember the taste of her cake. It was soft, sweet, and full of care. Sometimes she sat by the window and looked outside. I didn't ask what she was thinking. I was busy with my phone or schoolwork. Now I wish I had talked to her more. Maybe she had stories. Maybe she had dreams. But she always stayed quiet, giving all her time to us instead. I remember the day I left home for college. She packed my bag with care. She put in warm clothes, snacks, and even a small note. "Mana, take care. I believe in you." I smiled, but I didn't say much. I was excited to leave and be free. But now I know how hard that goodbye was for her. She stood at the door, smiling, while her heart was crying inside. During college, I didn't call her often. She waited every evening by the phone. Sometimes she called me and I answered quickly. "I'm busy," I said. She only replied, "Okay, I just wanted to hear your voice. I didn't understand then. But now I know how much a mother waits to hear her child's voice, even for a minute. When I came home on holidays, she cooked all my favorite food. She cleaned my room and washed my clothes. She asked questions about my life. But I didn't share much. I said, "Everything is fine." I didn't see the worry in her eyes. Now I wish I had told her more. She wanted to know me, not to control, but to care. She always prayed before bed. I heard her soft voice at night. Sometimes she whispered my name in her prayers. I laughed at it once and said, "You don't need to worry so much." She smiled and said, "A mother never stops worrying." I understand those words now. Her love followed me in silence. One evening I saw her looking at old photos. She held a picture of me as a baby. Her eyes were full of memories. I walked away thinking it was silly. But now I do the same. I look at old pictures and feel the same pain, the same love. Time moves fast, but her love stayed with me. After college, I got a job in another city. I called her sometimes, not every day. She always answered with joy. Her voice was full of life, even when she felt tired. She never spoke about her pain. She only said, "I'm happy if you're happy." I didn't ask her how she really was. I regret that now. Once I forgot her birthday. I was busy with work and friends. She called me that night, and I still didn't remember. She didn't say anything. She just asked, "How was your day?" Later, I found out she waited all day for my call. I cried when I remembered. Her love was silent, never asking, always giving. Every time I left home, she stood at the gate. She waved until I disappeared from her sight. I used to smile and forget it fast. But now, that image lives in my heart. Her eyes full of love, her hands waving with hope. She didn't want to stop me. She just wanted me to know I was loved. Now I sit alone and think about all those years. I see her face in my memories, smiling, tired, kind. I think about the times I ignored her voice, the times I chose friends over her, the moments I was unkind. But she never stopped loving me. He never turned away. Her love stayed strong through all my mistakes. I wish I had seen her heart more clearly when I was younger. Sometimes I dream of walking into the kitchen and seeing her again. She would be standing there, wearing her old apron. making tea and humming a soft song. I would sit down and watch her, just watch, and feel peace. I would say thank you, not for one thing, but for everything. Thank you for the food, the love, the care, the nights you stayed awake, the days you gave up your rest. I understand now that her life was full of sacrifice. She gave me her time, her energy, her dreams. She never asked for anything in return. She didn't want gifts or praise. She wanted me to be happy, safe, and strong. I used to think love was big words or special days, but her love was in the small things. The warm food, the clean clothes, the quiet waiting. There were so many things I never asked her. What did she want when she was young? What made her smile when she was a girl? What dreams did she hide in her heart while raising me? I was too busy with my life to ask, and she never spoke of herself. Her world was full of others, but I wish now I could sit beside her and listen to her stories. As I grow older, I understand her more. I see her in the way I care for others. I hear her words when I speak to children. Her patience is now my goal. Her kindness is now my path. I try to live in a way that would make her proud. I try to carry her love in everything I do. She may not be near, but her spirit lives with me every day. There are days when I feel lost or tired. On those days I remember her voice, soft and strong. I remember how she made me feel better without saying much. Just a touch, just a smile, and the world felt right again. Her love was quiet, but it was the strongest thing I've ever known. It gave me everything I needed to become who I am now. So today, I say to every son and daughter, look at your mother. Listen to her, help her, talk to her. Don't wait for years to understand her love. Say thank you now, not later. Give her your time, your care, your respect. Because one day, you'll look back, like me, and realize that everything she did was out of deep, endless love.